with work, you know, I don't want to have this like this background, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a little weird. They've seen it a couple times and they're just like, you know, what's up with the hippie background?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. They're
So
like,
I have
bro.
like this black one now that I can drape down for when I'm doing
got
work
it.
stuff, and then I want to lift it up for when I'm, you know, doing better
They're
stuff.
like, bro, what
And I
kind of
could change it.
crystals? What kind of crystals are you using?
Right? Oh man.
Okay, do the
Hey,
intro.
man. Hey, welcome to Menace the Menace. Thank you so much for joining us. So happy to have you. Remember to support this channel if you're happy with what you hear, or if you're not anyway, just support us by liking, commenting. You could talk stuff if you want. Also, yeah, just, you know, just that'll help us out anyway. So like, comment, share, tell people about it. Pray for us too. What am I missing here? Subscribe. We hit over 100. We hit over 100, baby.
Over 100.
Yeah,
Hey, on YouTube over 100, and I think on Spotify we're at like 98.
Oh, okay, guys, get to Spotify. Subscribe.
I can't. Oh yeah, Spotify's on there.
Twitter, Instagram,
Tiki-taki.
Rumble. We haven't done much on Rumble yet though, but Tiki-taki. Yeah, all of those, man. And
I
right
can't
there,
believe
Ben's the man who does all that.
I can't believe there's almost 200 people that listen to this.
I know, that's insane. Like willingly.
I know, exactly. I feel like that gives me a little hope that we're not the only crazy ones. You know?
No, we're not the only crazy ones, and we'll talk about. I want to talk about that Mark Driscoll video that I sent you.
Oh, so
did you watch it? I knew, like,
yeah,
I couldn't even watch the whole video. I had to send it to you before I even finished it,
okay,
because I was so excited for you to watch it. But hang on.
Okay.
I want to talk about subscribers and stuff. Hey, listen, if you're out there listening to this and you have like social media or editing expertise or whatever, if you have like a passion for it and you want to help, I mean, we're just hanging out doing this. Like Ben is like drowned in like editing stuff, and he does so much stuff. He does a great job, but he definitely needs some help.
I'll send you a mug. I'll send you a mug.
There you go. Yeah, and I'll send you my love. You get a mug and some love. And if you can, just hit us up, you know, because we definitely need some help. And I was gonna say something else, because we have so much like footage that we just can't get out there because
man, I'm so backed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I don't do anything because my life got really busy really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys can help, that'd be great. Anybody, just we'd love to have you help us. We need it desperately.
Yes, please.
All right. So, hey, it's nice to talk to you during the day, man. This is nice. Not
dude,
just like,
I know. I agree. Okay, so here's the idea, peoples, 200 peoples. So far, what Dennis and I have been doing is recording one episode a week, right? Roughly.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
And we'll go for like 2-3 hours. Okay. And then we'll post that as a full episode. And then from that, we'll clip and post like shorter videos, because not everybody's going to watch 2-3 hours, you know.
Right.
Plus we need to like play the game and get as much content or videos out as possible for YouTube and these guys to pick it up. So instead of doing that, because I have to do all that and it takes so much freaking time and I'm behind on everything, instead of doing that, we were thinking, instead of spending an hour or two a day like clipping and editing and uploading and stuff, instead of clipping and editing, we're just going to like sit down for 30 minutes to an hour a day, you know?
Yeah.
And record a full episode for 30 minutes to an hour, and then upload that instead of clipping and editing and
Right.
So that's the new move. And hopefully it works out. Hopefully people's attention spans will, you know, last 30 to 60 minutes. But maybe if we get some help, then we could get somebody to help us like clip and post shorter things, because those are really important too. But that's inside baseball. That's all behind the scenes. People don't care. A cool update is, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you've picked up on it by now, but we don't have Ellie and Claudio, our resident Bible scholars, anymore. Their lives got a little busy, and they weren't able to come on anymore. But I have a buddy here in Boise that I met at a coffee shop, and that's how ghetto Menace the Menace is. They just bring dudes on. random ass dudes from coffee
like
shops.
picked them up off the street.
Yeah,
It's just-
exactly. Exactly.
It's just
I
like-
met this guy like 2 times. I'm like, dude, you want to come on my podcast?
You'd be perfect. You'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
But he is. He's great.
But he's great. He's awesome. And interesting. So he works at a coffee shop downtown here in Boise. And by the way, it's Boise, not Boise. Boise.
What? No,
Okay.
it's Boise.
If you're out here and you say Boise, people know you're from out of
That's
town.
BS. Are you
I
serious?
swear. I
So
swear.
it's Boise?
Boise.
That sounds so,
It's dumb. I know. Hey, and it's so funny because we were at I went to this like comedy thing that was out here a little bit ago. And this guy from New York, with all his like swagger and stuff, he's up there and he's like, why everybody's saying Boise? It's Boise. He's like, just because it's an S doesn't mean you say, you have to say it like that. He's like, you don't say Jesus. It's Jesus.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
So right.
He's got
so
a point.
right. But every time I say Boise now, I always think of that guy.
That's so funny.
but
I
anyway,
know
anyway.
that's the first I've heard of this. You've been, how long have you lived there now?
3 years,
And you've never corrected
almost
me?
3 years.
You've
No,
never
I don't
corrected me
care.
once.
You're not local. You're a freaking guy from
Dude,
Florida.
You're still a California guy to me though.
Don't say that.
Like, I'm sorry, but you always will be. Just because, well, maybe not always.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
Once I get to the hills,
yeah.
it's you're no longer gonna recognize me, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, maybe. But right now, I still feel
Okay.
like-
Hey, so listen, this guy
Yeah.
was working
Mr.
at a
Cam.
coffee shop in Orange County. His name's Kamron. Okay.
Yeah.
So give Kamron a welcome in the comments. You probably nobody will,
Show Cam
but
some
I'm just
love.
gonna. If we get one, I'm gonna show it to him, and he's gonna be stoked.
He'd be so happy.
He'd be stoked. He used to work
Where's
at a
my
coffee
love?
shop.
Where's my love?
They don't.
Where's...
They subscribe to us. They don't need to show us love.
All right,
They just need to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share. Listen, he worked at a coffee shop in Orange County, and I didn't know him there, but I ran into him here, and he's like, "Oh, I used to work at that coffee shop." I'm like, "Dude, I used to go there all the time." And another one of his coworkers also works at a coffee shop here in Boise, and
From
used
California.
to work at the one that I used to go to in Cali.
That's
but I
just
didn't know him
insane,
there.
man.
It's
That's
such
just
a
crazy.
small world, bro.
Yeah, if you guys knew Ben, like, I don't know if you're still like this now, but years ago, like when you lived in California, you were at a coffee shop like all the time. you always had coffee or at a cigar shop. Like you're always doing one of those.
Yeah. I would definitely less so over the past, like since I got married. Before I was single.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Before I got married, I was
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
hanging out there way more.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like, what am I gonna do? Like I'm not going and trying to like pick up on the honeys or anything. So I'm just like a good boy reading books at
Why
coffee
not,
shops.
man? Why not, man?
Dude, one time it worked out.
I gotta hear this.
Where-
I
hey,
can't wait
listen.
to hear this.
One time it worked out. Oh my God. It was so weird now that I think about it. But me and my buddy, we went to Starbucks in Orange over off of Chapman. And we ordered coffee, and there's these like, it was at Starbucks, there's these
Right.
two girls sitting down and they're reading their Bible.
Oh, so
And
you
I'm
saw
probably,
it.
hey, I'm
You saw
probably
it
like
in.
17. I'm like 17 or 18. You know what I mean? I'm a kid. And I like see that and I'm like, I wonder what I could do here. And dude, I would never like hit on girls. I would never pick up on chick. Nothing. Ever. And I just like, I get my drink and I kind of walk by and I'm like, so the good book, huh?
the good book.
I swear to God.
It's a good
I swear
book.
to God,
the
I'm like,
book,
so
the good book.
So the
Oh
good
my
book, huh?
God.
And we started talking and went and like hung out with them. Like they were super cool.
Oh, nice.
And then straight up, hey, and then like ended up going to the Harvest Crusade with them.
That's
Oh my God.
awesome, man.
It was so
That's
random.
cool. Wow.
So that's the one time where I actually like spit game.
Well, that's so funny. The good book. That's hilarious.
The Good
That's actually
Book,
pretty
huh?
good. That's actually pretty good. When
Oh.
was the last time you saw someone in public like read a Bible? Like,
Bro, all the time. I live in
What?
Boise.
In Boise?
It's like conservative. My buddy just
Boise.
downtown right now was reading the Bible when I went and got coffee this morning, and there's always people there, just like,
Wow.
especially at coffee shops, because
Are they actually reading the Bible itself, or are they like in an app? Because I use apps
no,
for
the book,
everything.
a good book, bro,
Wow.
like
I don't.
physical.
I actually gave my last Bible to my neighbor. So
wow.
yeah, because I'm like,
Hey, you got get a physical copy, because when the internet goes down, you're not gonna have access anymore.
You're right.
Hey, I'm not kidding. I bought like 6 copies of the Bible.
Yeah, why not 7, dude?
Like,
I gotta buy 6.
I bought like 3. Oh, you're right. I bought like 3 copies of Unseen Realm. I bought a bunch of books on like farming and planting and
hey man,
and like
I'm laughing now, but
stuff I can't look up when the freaking world goes to crap. You know what I mean?
Dude. Yeah, how to fix things, how to make things.
Dude, straight up. Yeah. I don't know that stuff.
Man, it's getting crazy out there. Did you hear about that another bank failure, man? What is going on,
for
bro?
sure,
dude?
And this is how it starts, man. This is how it starts.
For sure.
There's these little cracks, like these smaller secondary banks start going down. How funny is it that a bank could go bankrupt? You know,
dude, this is insane.
So these smaller banks start going bankrupt. People go to try to pull out their cash. They can't. And just so you know, the federal government insures bank accounts up to $250,000.
So I don't think it's every account. I think that's just business accounts. I could be wrong. And
no,
personal
it's all accounts
to 100,000.
It's all accounts. I went and checked.
Oh, you did?
It could be on like a case by case basis,
maybe,
but
okay.
I'm pretty sure all accounts are insured up to, and do your own research. Don't listen to me. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have to say that because I don't think we're going to get demonetized.
Crypto, Bitcoin.
Because we're not monetized. So boom.
BitConnect.
Oh my God, I've got that sound effect in here somewhere. But anyway, hey, up to $250K in your account, you're federally insured. So if your bank goes bankrupt, the federal government will pay you back up to $250,000 for your losses. Okay. Right. And I think it's per person on the account. So if it's you and your wife, it's up to 500,000. But look into this. This shit's important. And if you've got, listen, bro, I don't think too many of our followers have this kind of money, but maybe your parents do. So let them know.
If you do,
WhatsApp, Cash App me.
I'd love to quit my job and do this full time.
Yeah, PayPal us, whatever you want. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Hey, so up to $250K federally insured, right? Anything over that, gone. Goodbye. I don't know if you need to open up a different account or if you need to go to a different bank and split up your funds across different entities. You know what I mean? Per account, maybe. Hold on. I just had a brain fart.
What do these guys do with like millions of dollars though? Like, or like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Like
of people's money?
No. I'm saying like people with hundreds of millions of dollars. Like how do they like hide their money?
Oh, dude, these guys aren't sitting on like hundreds of million in cash.
Yeah, that's true.
These guys have it invested in assets. You know, that's why you hear people like, "Oh, get your money out of the bank."
But still, even Kanye, he got his accounts frozen with like Chase. Like they froze his account because
I don't think. Okay, they can freeze his account and like not do business with him. You know, but they can't take his money. So they might say, "Hey, your accounts are frozen, but remove your funds from our institution. Take them to another bank." You know,
just crazy.
Dude, that's really scary. But here's my theory: if there's another like banking collapse, okay, like there kind of was in 2008 when they bailed everybody out. You know how they keep talking about this centralized digital banking currency, the CBDC.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
It's just a crypto for the federal government. And it's where they want to deposit any of your wages straight into this crypto account that the Fed runs, where all of your taxes are taken out of, refunds are put into, everything's automatic. You don't do a single freaking thing. So if you're in accounting and this goes through, you're out of a job.
Yep.
You know? But I was always like, dude, people are going to go crazy if they tried to like eliminate cash altogether and just give you some federal digital coin, you know what I mean?
Right,
and then you need a freaking wallet. You're going to need your pass and your medical records and stuff to like have access to your funds or anything. They can do anything they want. They can, and they were talking about this they're actually working on it, on passing it in Britain first. They were saying that they can program it, and employers can program it to where you can only spend your funds on what they allow, right? So this isn't, it would be insane. The world would completely change.
Well, in China right now, they're doing this in China. And
they're already
your
doing
money
it.
in time, it expires. That's insane.
Yeah. So goodbye savings accounts.
Yeah.
Goodbye like generational wealth. Goodbye everything. Like it's all, you have to spend your money to keep money in circulation to keep our economy afloat.
Yeah.
That's literally the scam, right?
Yeah.
So I was always like, dude, there's no way people would lose their mind. They'd go crazy. Like they'll revolt. They'll overthrow the government.
Oh yeah,
right?
You mess with people's money, dude.
Yeah, but
isn't that crazy? You can mess with their health more than their money.
You can mess with their health. You can mess with their kids. You can mess with
right.
And nobody's gonna do anything.
But when they're
case
money,
in point, the past 3 years, right?
Crazy 3 years.
But here's what I'm thinking: like, if there's another crash, okay, and everybody's insured up to a certain amount, right? But let's say there's a lot of people with a lot of money. And there's a lot of people with way more than 250K in the bank. Okay.
Sure.
And the government's like, oh, hey, sorry guys, we can only insure you up to 250K, but we don't have 250K plus to hand out to every single American that just lost everything. Oh, why don't you guys just open up an account on our FedCoin website and we'll be able to reimburse you in FedCoin. So there's only going to be $250K reimbursed to people, and then the rest will be reimbursed in this coin. And then you've got both working simultaneously, and then they'll just phase out cash altogether.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, 250 to each in cash, and then the rest in the CB whatever.
Or it could just go straight CBDC. No more cash.
Yeah, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little while to transition. That's the problem. Like
it might be better to just go straight CBDC.
It might be
centralized
to rip
digital
the
banking,
Band-Aid,
CDBC. Huh?
To rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah, I mean, it could. They could.
There's no band. Okay, their coin would be the Band-Aid because we're bleeding out, and there's a financial crisis, and the banks are in turmoil, and blah 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 blah. And what's the solution? The government can help you. Here's your coin.
I think time's it's got to get worse though. It's still got to get worse. We're not there yet. It's got to affect everybody.
If the banks go under, there wouldn't be a better opportunity. Don't let any crisis go to waste, brother. What better opportunity than the entire economy and the banking system freaking going underwater for the government to step in and say, here's the solution?
Yeah.
When would they ever be able to do that? Yeah. When would they ever be able to do that again? Ever? I don't think they would.
No, they're on their way. They're on their way. There's no turning back.
It's here.
Yeah.
They're already.
The technology's already here.
It's already the technology's available.
Oh yeah.
England's doing it. The EU's doing it. China's doing everything's here. They're just waiting for the opportunity. Same thing with. Let me see if I could. With the thing that goes like this, tick, tick, tick. Same thing with that. They were already researching, and they already had stuff developed. They already had the solution developed. For sure. Yeah. How do you think they produced billions?
Right, warp speed bullshit
of those little vials. Yeah. How do you think they produced billions of it all within what? 6 months?
Yeah,
a year? Max?
4 months. Dude, it was like 4 months, and they had
in 4 months they already had it out and distributed. And how do you think they did that? Because it was already being researched and in the works.
Of course,
and then all you have is the perfect scenario, the perfect storm that, don't worry, we've already got the
this is all a plan, man. This is all planned. This is all, and that's just a foreshadow, right? Like, but I think even Bitcoin, I think, and crypto was a foreshadow, I think, for what, like to see if people adopt it, not if, but just to get people to adopt it, right? And to get all the technology, people to build around it, right?
Exactly.
And then it could just go, into it's just the key thing to me that I don't understand is like who's going to own it, right? Because I don't see America
Own
being
what?
that, like the major central bank currency, like for the
Oh,
world.
it's gonna
right?
be it's gonna be global. It's gonna be
It's
global.
got to be.
Hey,
Yeah.
when the banks fail in America, the rest of the world is on
Oh,
fire.
that's true. That's true.
Okay,
That's true.
this is going to be a global solution.
That's true.
There's a reason there's the World Bank, okay, the World Central Bank. There's a reason these things exist. The World Economic Forum. It's all about this It's about the globalization and reunifying everything under a central power. Okay, that's what it's going to be. And it doesn't mean that like, oh, the Germans are going to run the world. No. It could be some large organizations like the World Economic Forum, some other organization from the Asian countries and the Russian countries.
Sure, yeah, they'll come together.
And then the Western countries, and boom, you got 3 or 4 superpowers that they govern the whole freaking world.
Antichrist is supposed to bring
everything.
Antichrist is supposed to bring peace, right? So
it
makes a lot of sense if like if there are the wars and rumors of wars and all this stuff happening, and the financial crisis, the health crisis is, there's another. They're talking about another. Those emails were leaked about the next pandemic and what's happening. Like this is like really soon. Did you see those? Like they're leaking
in England.
Yeah, in England. It's just insane. Like this is all planned. This is all coming. The question then this begs is like, how do you navigate through this, right? Like, how do you just kind of stay afloat? But it's getting scary, man. Like it's crazy. I feel bad for kids and for the young people, man. I feel like you and I can get through it. It's going to be hard for even us, but I think of my daughter. I think about like kids, even who are being born. I just found out my buddy this morning. He told us he's having a girl. Like all this stuff. Like it's just insane, man.
Dude, isn't it wild? I think we grew up in like arguably. So I'm 36, right? I'm going to be 37 in a couple months.
Cool.
Okay, wait. I'm going to censor that because I don't think we should put our
probably
birthdays out there so that people don't like hack our stuff.
Yeah, censor, market. I'll market right now.
Have you seen that? There's this guy. He's like on Instagram. He's on YouTube. He's like, I think he's Indian or something, and he's got a show or a channel and clips where he's like an electrical engineer and he's always like fiddling and making stuff, but it's always like blowing up.
I saw that.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about?
Did I send it to you?
You might have.
I sent it to. I think I sent it to you because I saw it. That of course.
Hey, this would be the like podcast version of that.
We'll just clip it. We'll just do clips of it. Every
single clip is just like, shit, the tab's frozen.
That'll be like our help wanted ad.
Yeah, or that video where Ellie like keeps dying, like his video keeps dying. Remember?
I do. Oh my gosh, that was so good,
dude. Such a funny video. Man.
I had to take my pants off.
Oh my god, hold on.
Dude, I'm so hot.
Great idea. Hey, welcome to the freaking pantless
club. Man, I understand now. I understand.
I freaking told you.
Oh, I understand. Just don't do it on camera. Oh, there you go.
No, bro. Hey, what do you think? I'm not like pro at this?
Yeah. Sure.
Hey, the thing, and usually I don't even have to stand up, but now I got my jeans on. Do you know how hot I am? I'm sweating so bad.
I had these thick joggers on. It was so cold this morning when I got out. It was so beautiful.
That's awesome. Dude, check these things out. Got my freaking Levi's, bro.
Dude, I just bought a pair of Levi's today.
Look at my belt.
Ooh, you are from Boise. Oh my god. What is that on there?
It's a fly for fishing.
Oh yeah, you're total Boise.
Bro, Boise. I freaking rock a tucked in button up with a collar made of wool.
Goodness.
I look like my dad. I look like my dad. Hey, and with this buckle, this leather buckle and belt I got from a thrift store in Sun Valley for $12.
Sun Valley, is that like
Sun Valley, Idaho? It's like a Lake Tahoe. It's like a Park City. It's like a Mammoth.
Nice.
But
how far is that from you?
Hour and a half.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, not at all. It's super like it's super
nice.
Bougie. Super
nice
bougie.
Escape. Do you go? You don't go out that often, though, right? Like
to Sun Valley, a few times a year. But our ski resort is 30 minutes from my house. 35 minutes from my house. We see the lifts from my window.
Oh wow! No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to come visit, man.
You have to. You will.
I know
You will
we said that for
eventually.
so long. Yeah, I think so too. We'll make it happen.
Okay. I remember what we were talking about. So I'll probably clip some of this stuff off. But what we were talking about, like how crazy the world is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's gonna
So
we got okay, no, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, dude, I'm 37 in a month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 86. And I feel like how old are you?
I'll be 43 in a month.
43. Okay. I feel like our generation, people our age, I feel like we grew up at the best time in freaking human history. I don't think that there's a better time to be a kid than in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, for sure, man.
Bro, come on. Listen, we were in this middle ground, okay, where it was pre-social media, cell phones, that whole obsession, okay, that's revolutionized humanity.
Right.
But we still had Super Nintendo, N64, first generation of PlayStation, flip phones. We still had all of those luxuries, but not in a way that's like overwhelmed humanity and mankind like it has now. You know what I mean? Okay. So we kind of had like the best of both worlds. We'd still play outside. We'd still ride bikes. We'd still rollerblade. We'd still skateboard. Like,
it's because we didn't have social media. Social media destroyed everything.
Exactly. Totally. Well, social media, and also I would also want to say like the advancing in like gaming, you know, because gaming is so addictive, addictive. Yeah. So that's why I honestly think there was never a better time in human history. Plus we had all the luxuries. We had like, we didn't have to go freaking work the fields. We didn't have to, you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think we grew up in the best time in human history. I firmly believe that.
That's a really good point.
But with that, you know what happens? Now that we're adults, we're going to live in some really bad times, because of that saying, strong men make good times, and that's it. That's all I remember from this. Hold on. There's a saying, bro. So you haven't heard this thing?
No, I have heard it, but I don't know the rest of it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Hard times make strong men. Okay. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. That's the whole thing. It's cyclical. It's cyclical. Okay. So we lived during an era where strong men made good times. Okay. And now those good times, which is us, our generation, has resulted in some punanis that are now running the show.
Brilliant,
and what are they going to do? They're going to make really hard times. Yeah. And then after those hard times are over, out of that are going to arise some strong men again. And it just goes round and round and round it goes.
So with all this craziness, do you still think that are you still like stuck on the like 5-year plan or something that God might come back in that time frame?
Bro, I think God could come back anytime, but I do think there are things that, man, I can't wait to talk to Kamron. All of this started because we were talking about Kamron. Kamron's going to be our new like biblical end times scholar guy. Okay. That's kind of his like, his little passion. Hey, when I asked him to come on for the first time, he's like, yeah, man, do you want me to, he texts me, he's like, do you want me to like send you this 11-page paper that I wrote on end times and eschatology? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Come on, talk about it yourself.
Yeah, we'll just talk about it. Like I don't want to. And even the other night when he was over and we were testing a bunch of gear, like we just kept talking about stuff. And at one point I'm like, bro, stop talking to me. Like we need to talk about this on the freaking show. Like I don't want to. It needs to be candid. It needs to be, honest. Like it can't be rehearsed. I don't want to know what you believe. I don't want anything. It's just gotta be organic,
Yeah. That's so important, man. Remember, we were doing that through text messages.
We were.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop for the pod.
Yeah.
I love it.
But listen, the reason I said that is your view as a Christian, right? We're Christian. I don't know if you guys know that. 200 subscribers, just so you know, we're Christian. your view on like Revelation, end times, eschatology. Eschatology just means the study of end times, end things, you know, is going to determine what you believe about this stuff, because there's a lot of Christians called postmillennialists or whatever they're called that don't think that there's going to be a freaking rapture, and don't think that there's going to be like an imminent coming of Christ until, and Cameron will correct me if I'm wrong, until they think Christ comes after Christianity and the church kind of takes things over and like makes the world habitable for Christ.
Wow.
So they think it's only going to get better. And they think historically, and listen, they've got some,
Wow, I did not know this.
Yeah. We'll get there with Cameron. And he'll correct me.
Stay
I might be
tuned.
totally wrong. If I am, write a comment.
Well, you got me interested, so
Okay.
So
they think that the church is going to bring in the kingdom of God here on earth. And
isn't that
they're
what the
not,
Jews thought?
listen, kind of,
a little bit,
kind of. And they think that things will only get better, that it's going to go up and down. There's going to be hard times, bad times, but it's going to be on a trajectory upward towards times getting better, you know, and more people getting saved and the kingdom of God slowly being introduced. And historically, they're not crazy. Like, they're not totally wrong.
Sure.
Things have been getting better because historically, up until, like I said, we grew up in the best time in human history.
Right.
Things have always been worse. Always. There's always been more war. There's always been more death. There's always been more pestilence, famine, disease, murder. It's always been worse, you know? And they think that will keep happening. Ups, downs, up, down, up, down, up, down, until finally it's so good that Jesus comes back. And we'll dig into it with Cameron, because that's what I understand. I could be wrong, though. However, we, on the other hand, think that is not getting any better. You know, we think that we think that it's going to get so crazy, so bad, so evil, so dark that Christians are going to be getting executed, that there might be a supernatural rapture of the church. I'm still not sold on that, you know, but this is what this side kind of believes.
I'm hoping that we're happening.
Oh my God, I hope there's a rapture.
Yeah,
you know,
but I don't know.
And we think that it's going to get so crazy, so bad, so evil, dude, so demonic, that things are going to start appearing into this dimension and onto this earth from a supernatural, and they're going to start running the show, you know, or inhabiting people that run the show. And it's going to be so crazy that finally God, like in the times of Noah, God or Jesus comes back and he's like, I got to wipe you guys out again, you know?
Yeah.
So it's crazy because we read the same Bible, we read the same texts, and look at the different opinions we come up with, or the different views. They're literally the exact opposite.
Wow.
They're literally the exact opposite. And it's all from the same text. How weird is that?
Yeah, that's some really good insight, man. It's so true. I never thought of it that way. There is, I mean, obviously, and I know people have like different ideas, you know, in other texts in the Bible, right? Not just about end times, but like, you know, and that's how we get different denominations. That's how we get, you know, different beliefs even, you know, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, look at Catholicism, right? And then you have, you know, Protestantism.
Protestants, maybe. I don't know.
You know, you have like such a big, you know, difference between the two in so many ways, and they're reading the same Bible, you know, which is crazy. Yeah, I don't know,
wild,
man.
Huh?
It's so wild. We just gotta get close to Jesus, man. On a side note, we might clip this out. I'm gonna mark it just in case. I was thinking about something, Ben.
Okay, hold on. If it's something that might get us in trouble, use...
No. Yeah, no.
I was going to say, use sneaky language.
Yeah. No. It's, I was just thinking about like all these episodes that we're doing, like, at the end of them, like we should try to if we can, it doesn't, I don't, it's not all the time, but like we should try to be mindful of like bringing it back to Jesus, right? Like bringing it back to like, well, why are we talking about all this
I
stuff?
like this.
Like the whole point of this is not just like talk about cool shit, but it's about
stuff.
Yeah, we can get this out. Delete this out.
No, it's okay. We can leave it. Just say stuff.
Okay, stuff. I'm getting better at it, actually.
Me too. I've been more mindful. Mindful.
But yeah, like like the whole point of all this is because like this is real, right? At the end of this, like we have to make decisions like now in our lives, like
right.
especially even before the really, really hard times come. Because, man, if you think about it this way, Ben, if people are struggling with like depression and despair and with like fear and confusion now,
right?
What's gonna happen like when they see like a freaking UFO in the air, in the sky? Like, I mean, what was that Lester Holt thing that just that Joe Rogan posted, that you sent me?
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude. I have it teed up, by the way. I can
play it.
Let's do it. I mean, this is crazy, man. This is Lester Holt. I grew up listening to Lester Holt on. I mean, check this out. It's really short.
In 60 seconds, the new draft report on UFOs. The Pentagon's expert warning about a possible mothership coming close to Earth. Stay with us.
Can you turn those down just a little bit? Does it have its own volume on that channel or whatever?
No, because it's the Instagram thing. Yeah, no.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, maybe we can do it in the editing. I don't know.
Nah, I'm not editing.
Probably not. That's why we need help.
If that hurt your ears, sign up to help us.
It's your fault because you're not helping us. But dude, seriously though, that was the nightly news, like the NBC nightly news saying a mothership might be coming. Like,
and it's what? A report, and it's a report from the Pentagon.
Come on, dude! Like, this is crazy. How are people just like not freaking out right now?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know how anybody that's paying any attention at all. Dude, and this is what's wild. Like, the left has these outlets, CNN, MSNBC, these guys, talking about motherships and the Pentagon and unidentified this and UAP this and alien this, right? And then Christians, or like the religious side, we've got thousands of years of church history in the Bible that's like supernatural this, alien, angels this, demons that, God, Jesus, like that's what we believe in too. We believe in that stuff, right? We're just using different words. And so you've got CNN talking about something coming in the skies, and then you've got the Bible that's like stuff comes from the sky. You know what I mean?
And I'm like, when they read the Bible, they're like, nah, but then
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, where's the freaking disconnect? This stuff, like on the news, should get people running to the Bible and running to churches. You know what I mean? To try to figure out what's going on. I just watched this other video where, dude, we also could just be like Instagram and TikTok brainwashed, but that's a whole other story. That could just be a freaking psyop that, but anyway, I was watching this other video where this guy was saying that people internally at the Pentagon, dude, how crazy it would be if we get like pulled or censored or some crap for talking about this specific kind of stuff. People internally at the Pentagon, the rumor mill is that the ancient gods are returning to Earth. So they're actually, the rumor mill is that the gods that these other civilizations, the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Sumerians, that they're actually saying their gods are coming back. But we have redefined them. That's the only difference. Like, people need to understand this. We've redefined the language. So gods, right, to them was something from someplace else that appeared and was able to do things that they were not able to do. And they were like, oh my God, they must be gods. from, a lot of them said the Egyptians believed that their gods came from Orion's belt, from a planet in Orion's belt. The Sumerians, which was thousands of years before the Egyptians, they believed that their gods, and both of these civilizations describe similar beings appearing to them, just heads up. The Sumerians believed their gods came from another planet as well, okay? And they had a concept of there's other planets, but they didn't have telescopes. Weird, okay? Not only like, oh, there's flashy things in the sky. That's not all they thought about. They actually called them planets. They said that they can be inhabited, and there's other beings that come. And their planet, the Sumerians' planet, or where they said their god came from, was Nibiru. Okay, so just a heads up. Yeah. It's in vogue right now. It's in the ether, in the consciousness of people, because these are myths and legends that have been around for thousands of years. Okay, now we're starting to hear, see, watch reports of things that sound really similar. So people over the years are like, dude, that sounds like that myth about blah, 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 blah. And then you start looking into it and you're like, dude, that's not too different from what is going on right now and what the Pentagon, the people that are in charge of our intelligence and our military are saying is happening. So it's dude, it's wild. It's wild. And my opinion is I think it's both. Okay. So if the powers that be, the elites, the whatever, the Pentagon, the rulers of this earth, whoever they are, if they have all the money, all the intelligence, all the data, all the sophistication, right? The military, the satellites, and they know what's happening and what's coming somehow, some way, some form. I don't know. Do you think that they would just like tell everyone? What do you think that would do to humanity if they just came out and like spilled the beans on everything they know?
Here's my take.
Hold on. What do you think would happen
if they just told everybody
everything they know about this kind of stuff?
There'd be chaos.
This world would stop. Everything. Yeah. Everything would stop.
Because nothing else would matter.
Nothing else would matter. Absolutely
Business wouldn't
nothing.
Matter. Like, nothing.
Business wouldn't matter. Like, government wouldn't matter. Money wouldn't matter. Right, School wouldn't matter. Every freaking country on this planet would collapse. Okay. Why would I go to work? Like, for what?
It'd be complete chaos.
You just told me that there's these things that do things and come here and da. Why would anybody care about anything? Why would I save money? Why would I put it into a retirement fund? You know what I mean? It would implode. Everything would implode. So they need to keep the status quo, right? That's probably the best thing they can do in order to maintain safety here on Earth. So side note, Dennis, real quick. Yeah. This applies not only to aliens and ancient gods and whatever. This would apply to absolutely anything devastating that is on the horizon. Anything.
Yes.
Asteroid.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything. Yeah. Anything that would cause mass panic will never be front page news, ever. Right. Because they're not going to do that. What they're going to do behind the scenes, especially if they know that it's something inevitable, what they're going to do is start getting ready themselves and stowing stuff away and getting bunkers and and getting ready, right? And one day they're gone. And the White House press team is waiting for whoever the president is to like come on, like why are they like an hour late?
They booked it, dude.
and everybody's just like sitting around waiting. Is like, that's so weird. Where are all these private jets going? Like some weird air traffic all going to Antarctica. So weird. What the heck's going on? Hey, and within an hour, you just see like a thing in like a ball of light in the sky. That's like, people are like, oh my God, what is that? And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And boom.
So I don't know if anything's coming. I think that it's already here. So
what you mean?
So like when you talk about like the aliens, the Nephilim, the whatever the demonic beings, right? That are, I think that they're already here. Like I think like the whole like this Lester Holt thing, right, on nightly news. Like, because it goes back to your point where they wouldn't tell everybody. They wouldn't tell everybody like a mothership's coming if a mothership was really coming. Like, I don't think a mothership's coming. I think it's a distraction to, and if the beam is real. They don't even have to. I was thinking about this morning on my walk. Actually, it's kind of funny. I don't think blue. Like, so do people know? Okay,
hold on.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, just because. Don't pull it up. We'll explain it.
Okay.
But listen, instead of saying the phrase, don't do that because there's if that's one of the phrases that they're gonna flag. Yeah. Okay. As whatever, scary or whatever. I'm gonna crop out when you said it. Okay. So before we were rudely interrupted. So I was saying, don't use certain phrases. You know what I mean? That could be kind of questionable or controversial or whatever. So
how about BB?
Okay, hold on. But we need people to know what we're talking about, right?
I know.
So think about it. Okay, so let's play charades. It's 2 words. Okay, what color is the sky? Okay, it starts with a B. So the first. We'll say BB, but the first word starts with the B. It's the color of the sky. And the second word is, it rhymes with bean, like kidney bean. But if you replace the N
let's
at
just
the
call
end
it kidney
with
bean.
with an M, okay?
Color, yeah. There you
so
go.
Blue bean. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I'm gonna check that out.
It's too close.
That's way too close. So the color of the sky and the bean with an M at the end. So BB, okay?
Or kidney beam.
Kidney beam.
Kidney beam.
Or can we just say sky beam? Sky beam.
Red bean.
Color of the sky beam. Color of the sky beam.
Sky beam.
Sky beam. Hold on.
Sky beam.
Sky beam.
Perfect. I love Ben's laugh. If you love Ben's laugh, comment right now. That was so good. you just gave my mom a heart attack, dude.
Mama, no.
Oh my god, so bad. Jay Dracula.
She listens to this?
No. But eventually she will. She's gonna open that first one. It's gonna be like a clip of that, Dude, I just totally knocked this thing.
I hope she doesn't. I hope the first one she hears isn't that one that we have where we imitate your interaction with her. I'm like,
I know.
I eat fish.
No, she actually probably doesn't mind about that because I always make fun of her all the time. Like I always joke with my mom, like I give my mom such a hard time sometimes.
Oh my god!
Like she calls, it's like the first like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, just me like giving her a hard time every time she calls me, and then we get into a good conversation.
Okay, so Kid Project Skybeam.
Skybeam, yes. I wonder if we did like blue sky beam. If throwing the word in the middle there will throw it off. We'll throw the algorithm off.
I don't know. I think we've explained it enough.
Yeah. Okay. We're good. Anyway, I think that will be used, but I don't think it's going to be over the whole earth. I don't think it needs to be over the whole earth, right? I think it needs to be in prominent places, like over, obviously over like America, over like maybe Egypt or something, like in Israel or something, that area, like big enough to cover those areas, cover, maybe to cover Russia, like to cover like maybe like 4 or 5 spots around the earth. So that, and then like this fake invasion or whatever, but I think that they're already here. I think like that's how we're getting this technology. That's how all this stuff is being implemented. I don't think man is smart enough to figure all this out. Like I think it's I think they're here, and I think that's all just because I don't think it's actually coming from another dimension into this earth. I think it's already here. Here's another thing I thought of.
What? When you say it's already here, what's the it's? What are you referring to?
The aliens.
Have they always been here?
I think they have. I think that the demonic half-breeds have always been
Nephilim.
here. Yeah, the Nephilim, whatever you want to call them. Like, I think that they've been here. I think that they've been here and pulling the strings, like, behind, I mean,
So you think they've been like world leaders throughout history and famous figures? And
and I think that because it's a battle, right? They don't just take over. Like, they had to fight too. Like, it's a battle between good and evil, right? It's a battle between God's angels and these, and it's culminating into like another
commingling.
That's a real estate word. To like this battle, right? Like, in the end, right? Armageddon or whatever, right? Like, I mean, depending on what side of the, whatever you believe in with, revelations and stuff. But so here's another thought. Remember, how you said earlier, like, okay, they're coming from the belt of Orion, right? Like all these, like,
that's what the Egyptians believed.
Right. Do you understand at that time, they probably had like such a clean atmosphere that they were able to see like stars and things like way more clear than we are. Like, we go through telescopes and stuff, but like,
right.
Like just the average person would be able to look up. And that's why I think like astronomy was so popular back then, right? Like, it's, if you can look up, dude, and see stuff moving around up there and like, like in space. I don't know. Like, I thought about that. Like, we're not seeing it because here in Florida where I'm at, I go out at night for a walk and you can see like quite a few stars, but it's not like, when you're like in the mountains, right? Like,
I live in the mountains.
Do you see a lot? I mean, I'm sure you see a lot more stars than you did in California, right?
Oh, for sure.
So imagine like with no pollution. So I think even like pollution, right? Like, God wanted us to take care of this earth, right? And we are polluting the air. We're totally polluting the air, right? Like we have been since the Industrial Revolution, right? I mean, I think like even with the technology that was back in, in the ancient times, it wasn't like our technology. It wasn't like metal, and coal burning for energy. I don't think it was that. I think it was like more sound based and more light based,
let's take it. Okay. But listen, let's go like one thing at a time, because we got a lot going on, right? Yeah. Okay. So you think that the Nephilim have been around since when? When did they appear? Right. This is important.
Maybe at the fall, like the demonic, they were always here when Satan fell to earth.
I mean,
and appeared in this dimension.
We got to stick to what we know solely from the Bible, right?
Okay, well,
because this concept,
didn't he come into our dimension?
Everything we're discussing right now, we only know about it because we read the Bible.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So we got to stick to what's revealed in the Bible.
Right. But they're here. The demonic realm is here on earth though, right? Like, right?
Hold on. So Nephilim in particular were a result, and we know this, from the sons of God breeding with the daughters of men. And that happened in Genesis 6. That's the first time we read about it. So Nephilim weren't around during the fall. You see what I'm saying? Nephilim weren't around in the original sin. Nephilim resulted at a certain point in human history when the sons of God came down, the demons came down and bred with women. So there's a point in time where the Nephilim started, right? Gotcha. Of course, there was demonic forces before that. There had to be, because they're the ones that came down to breed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now when you say, what did you say? Demons are here, or the demonic is here, or what did you?
Yeah. The realm is already here. Like the demonic realm is like, on the, like above the earth or whatever, like in and out of the, like not in our dimension necessarily, but in and out of our dimension maybe, or
the demonic realm, the supernatural realm. It's not physical. It's not right. It's not a 3D thing, right?
Right. But it does affect the 3D, right? Like
how?
Through possession, right? Like through, like, I mean, Satan is active in our world, right? In our 3D, 4D world, in our dimension, he's active and he manifests himself sometimes, right? Through, right?
How?
I mean, even through visual stuff, don't they like become like, or is it all just spiritual that take?
I don't know, man.
People?
Hey, little thing that I've been thinking about in the Bible, we don't have any mention of Satan or demons like manifesting outside of where he like tempted Adam and Eve, tempted Jesus, right? But we don't have reference. We've got plenty of references where the angelic took on physical form and appeared, whether they looked like human beings. The demonic, the demonic, they don't. That's what's weird, man. I just realized this. Like biblically, they don't manifest physically. They always go in and out of things. Okay. Hey, you know what they're like? It's almost like they're a virus. Okay. Yeah, we're hardware. Yeah. We're the physical hardware because that's what 3D is. This is where in the third dimension, this is what things look like, you know, physically. And they're just spirit. I don't even know if God allows them to take on manifested like physical form like the angels did. I don't think they're allowed to do that. Like, I think they've lost access to that. And I think they only exist as spirit and they long to exist as something physical, you know?
If they found a way to do it.
They might be doing that. Hey, can't we assume that that's what happened when they created when they bred and they bore the Nephilim? They were literally trying to create a way for them to reside here in the physical earth, you know? It's like, I just like using the terms we're familiar with, you know, because this is the world we live in. So I think of hardware and software, like bodies are hardware, right? And software is spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, right? They don't have any hardware. They never have any hardware. All they have is software. And the software, the virus, is always looking for a hardware to like, you know, to inhabit and to take form. And what's interesting is I think that their doom is to like their eternal state is not like a physical thing. It's not like a physical place. I think the eternal state's like torment of their spiritual being or spiritual self, whatever it is, you know, that non-physical aspect.
Well, same for unbelievers, right? I mean,
same for unbelievers, man. Because I think this is so weird. Like now that I'm thinking out loud, it almost seems like having physical hardware, having a body is like a blessing. It's like a grace that God gives.
I've been thinking that same thing.
The
recently,
soul,
man.
the spirit. You know? And the punishment, because guess what? Satan and the other angelic and Jesus, they were in the garden, you know? They walked, Jesus walked with Adam and Eve, like in the middle of, or in the dew of the day or whatever. If you read it, and Michael Heiser in Unseen Realm goes into it, even the divine council was possibly there, like in the Garden of Eden. So when the serpent appears to Adam and Eve, they weren't like, "Hey, what are you doing here? What are you?" Like they didn't freak out. They've seen this guy before. He's one of the dudes. He's one of the divine council. Like he's over there with God on his team.
Oh, that's a good point, because when he approached Eve, like it wasn't like she was freaking out.
She didn't freak out. She didn't run away.
Dude, that's a great point, Ben.
You know what I mean? And listen, the term serpent, historically, throughout all cultures, all civilization, has always been associated with like something shrewd, cunning. You know what I mean? So it doesn't, and I don't want to get into this whole thing where it's like, oh, what is literal in Genesis and what's not.
Sure. Yeah.
But when it says that the serpent appeared to Eve, it could just be referring to the shrewd, cunning, divisive being. It doesn't necessarily mean it was like a snake. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It could be referring to the characteristic of that divine being, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting. And then they lose access to the physical, you know, then they're stuck in spiritual.
That's why they say like our body's a temple.
That it's a temple of the Holy Spirit, you know, because, so good, man. So good. Now we're no longer just as a result of the work of Jesus for us, Okay. Now it's no longer just physical body plus our soul that inhabits Christians and non-Christians. We all have a soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as Christians, we've got an additional thing that's with us and in us.
Right.
Okay. It actually says that the Holy Spirit is the seal guaranteeing your inheritance through Christ.
Right. Right.
You're not guaranteed salvation because like you prayed. You're guaranteed salvation because the Holy Spirit is in you. That's what God's going to look at and be like, you're mine. Not like all the good stuff you did, all the, it's because his Holy Spirit's in you. So it's like, dude, again, we've got the cheat code. Okay. Use the freaking hardware, software, computer analogy. Okay. Mm-hmm. We've got physical hardware. We've got our own spiritual software. We have our own soul. And then God throws in his own code. And he's like, oh, and you're mine. So when it's time to pass through the pearly gates, his whatever
system.
Well, yeah, you got his OS. You got his OS. Exactly, bro.
It's a new OS.
Yeah, exactly.
F Windows and the shit. That I didn't know this, but Microsoft bought ChatGPT for like $10 billion.
Yeah,
dude.
Microsoft owns ChatGPT, and they're trying to compete with Google for the first time because everyone's using ChatGPT to research stuff. I use it.
Dude, not only that, man, but like I was in a business meeting last week, and this software company that's this tech thing in real estate that's coming up, they're using a lot of AI and ChatGPT for a bunch of stuff. Like, it's crazy. So much automation and all that stuff.
Dude,
I have
AI's
no idea.
AI's gonna.
Yeah, that's the new wave, right? It's AI and then biotech, right? Like,
right.
See, that's why when I look at that stuff, I think, man, there's still a ways to go.
That's okay, dude, full circle. This is what we were talking about before. You said, do you still think it's 5 years out? And this is how we start talking about, well, it depends on what you think about the end times. And
sure.
Is things getting better or is things getting worse? Right. And full circle, bro. Wow. As if it was meant to be. Okay. If we still have a few things left before everything in the Bible has been met, all the checkpoints have been checked off in order to say, okay, those things are done. At any time now, Jesus could return because these things have been met, and we know this. One is going to be a universal technology, currency, monetary system that you could be cut in and out of. Okay. That hasn't existed and still doesn't exist to this day. Kanye could be removed from Chase. He could go to Wells Fargo. Okay. So that's one thing that we're still waiting for. Again, economy collapses globally. We'll see when that digital banking currency thing gets implemented, because that would be the first time in human history that you can actually be cut out of commerce.
For sure.
Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Doesn't matter who you are. Instantly. And cool. You transferred your money into silver and gold. Okay. Hey, you got an apple and I've got silver. Okay.
Right.
Okay. You've got apple. I've got silver. Okay. Ready? Hey, can I have your apple? I'll pay you. Go.
No.
But I'll pay you. I've got silver. Do you know what silver is?
I can't eat silver.
I know, but why don't you just sell it?
It means there's no value. There's no value whatsoever.
Oh, you can't put my silver into your digital currency wallet?
No.
Oh, you mean the government is going to ask you, where did you get silver or where did you get extra currency? Because we didn't give it to you. We don't see the transaction on the ledger. Where'd you get that? Oh, you're going to tell them that you sold me an apple? You see what I'm saying? People aren't going to do it. Silver, gold, other like physical assets won't matter if everything is digital.
Right.
You can't insert extra digital. It's not on the ledger.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And
it's all controlled by a computer. Like
it's all controlled. It's going to be AI.
Like,
it's going to be AI.
Oh, for sure. And it's
all
going to be so perfect. Like, well, I mean, perfect as far as,
it's going to be controlled 100%.
Mankind can.
So you got that.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
You got that. You've got mentions of Israel worshiping at a temple again. Hey, what a coinker-dinker. Israel's rebuilding their freaking temple.
Right.
Like everything's in order. They've got all the things they need. Even the tribe of the Levites is being retrained how to do the worship songs and how to anoint everything and da-da-da-da-da.
Wow.
Everything is, so that's another.
So from their point of view and them doing this, are they disregarding the Bible? Or are they?
No, they're not. This is what's a trip, man. They don't, the Jews don't believe in Jesus as the Messiah. Okay? They still think that the Jewish people have access to God via the Mosaic and Abrahamic covenants that God actually established with them, but then fulfilled in Jesus, and they missed it. They're like, no, we don't want this. Okay? So what are they doing? They're reestablishing the means for relationship with God through the Old Testament commandments of have a temple, build it like this, like this, like this, like this, sacrifice animals. They're bringing back sacrificial animals. Bro, there's going to be a bloodbath in Israel. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. They're bringing back the old ways of worship because they think that that's how God spoke to their people. And listen, this is so cool, man. Every time Israel flourished and did great in their land and there was prosperity and blessing upon the land, it was because they were abiding by God's commandments in relationship, through that covenant with God.
Right.
And the people flourished.
Sure.
And the land flourished. Every time they sinned, they rebelled, they brought in other gods, other idols, intermingled with other nations. Slavery, destruction, you lose your land over and over. That was punishment. Every time they left God's covenant. So they think we need to bring back the worship of God via the means he established in the Old Testament, and then we will flourish again. They know they've been under a curse because Israel's been, thousands of years they've been under a curse. No nation, no whatever, till 1947 when they became, or 48, when they became a nation again, right? They know they've been getting punished. Did you know that Tel Aviv, which I think is the capital of Israel, has a higher homosexual population than San Francisco?
Dude, I heard this, man. Like that's bonkers, dude.
They're hyper liberal or progressive. It's fascinating. And listen, the religious leaders of Israel, because they always are going to have that tradition. They can't get away from that. The religious leader says, we're under a curse. This is why we've been spread out across the planet all these years. This is why our nation was taken away, because our people left the presence of God and the covenant of God. Let's reestablish it. God will come back and show favor on Israel, and we're going to get right back to where we left off 2,000 years ago, when they were destroyed in AD 70.
That's perfect timing for when they do come back for Sky Beam to throw that up there, and then they'll 100%. See like in that video that we saw, right?
100%. These guys reestablish their covenant worship with God, right? And they start projecting some stuff, or something demonic, something alien actually appears, and it's like, I'm so glad you set things back up.
We talked about that. They haven't manifested, themselves. So that's why I'm saying it might be technology.
They haven't, except for when they broke the rules and came down and mated with women. At that point, they took on some sort of form.
Right, but he's the deceiver, right? So imagine it says the great deception, right? That's happening. Like it says that in the Bible, the great deception. So that to me, that's why.
Oh, it actually says he will send them a great deception.
Oh yeah, that's right.
God will send.
That's
God
gnarly,
will send.
dude.
Yeah,
bro, that's so gnarly, man.
I know. I know.
Well, listen, man. With all this said, dude, I know, we can go on for a long time on this. This is such great stuff to talk about, but
join us on the next episode of Menace the Menace. Welcome to our first short. You know,
Our
this is our
short.
first short.
I'm proud of us, man. I'm proud of us. But we probably, with the edits and stuff, we're probably like 45 minutes or something.
We're gonna continue this conversation when we get back on the next one.
Man.
So
for sure,
like, subscribe, follow, share, comment.
Pray for us.
Pray for us.
Help us if you have skills, because we can use your help. And just by helping us the most is really just telling people, right? And praying for us, right? Praying for us, and because we're getting attacked, at times where, even not just like spiritually, like in our families and our like lives, but also like online, like we're getting attacked, not like by people commenting, because who cares about that? It's about like being shadow banned, right? Like, we post a video that like can sheds light on something, and all of a sudden like we get like no views, and then like we post another video, and then all of a sudden it gets a lot of views, and it's just so weird how that,
it's super weird.
So if that's happening, and listen, whoever needs to hear what we're talking about will hear it. I totally know that God's sovereign in that. And listen, we need to be prepared, right? Like preparing our hearts, preparing our minds, not like, I mean, preparing in other ways too, right? Like physically, but mainly spiritually. And for me, like the only preparing that I can think of is actually just getting closer to Jesus, right? Like closer to his word. What else are you going to do? More. Like, what else are we going to do? Like all the strength, all of our power, all of our wisdom, everything comes from there, right? He's the source of life, so like he can give us all of that. And we just, what a big theme this whole week for me has been the whisper of God, right? Like, why does it say like he speaks through a whisper? He speaks in a whisper because he wants us to get closer to him so we can hear him, right? Like that to me is so beautiful, right? A God that wants to speak to us, but he whispers so that we can get closer to him so we can hear him. And I think that that's been like for the last week or two, it's just like, got to get closer, because I want to hear him. And he does talk. He's talking all the time. It's amazing, but it's just, we need to hear, right? And we got to get closer to him. So yeah, thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff.
Share, comment.
And we'll see you next time, right?
Bye, everybody.